Now at 6, a former Ottawa County Assistant District Attorney is arrested for accepting sexual favors in exchange for legal help. Plus,
right now, Kansans pay the second highest food sales tax in the country, making it harder for some families to put food on the table. I'm Bronte Sorosky with a plan that aims to improve things.
And Pitt State unveils newly completed renovations to the Axe Library.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A former Oklahoma Assistant District Attorney is charged with bribery, accused of accepting sexual favors in exchange for legal assistance. This is KOAM News at 6. 44-year-old Daniel Giraldi of Joplin worked in the district attorney's office for District 13. That's Ottawa and Delaware counties. Court documents show prior to working in the DA's office, Giraldi worked for a private law firm and began accepting sexual favors from women in exchange for helping others facing criminal charges. Giraldi is charged with bribery of a public official, interstate travel in aid of racketeering, and possession with intent to distribute a controlled substance. You can read the entire probable cause document on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Nevada, Missouri police have arrested a man accused of breaking into a home and assaulting a child. Authorities say on Friday, 45-year-old Jason Clark of Springfield broke into a home on the 1100 block of North Clay Street in Nevada and attacked a child inside that home. He left before police arrived, but was found on Saturday and arrested. Clark is charged with first-degree burglary, second-degree kidnapping, and abuse or neglect of a child. Checking in with Doug Hetty for a first look at the weather.
Well, it's actually turned out to be a nice day for us today after a frosty start across the region during the morning hours. The afternoon, really nice, 60s, even near 70. Plenty of sunshine. It's a very nice evening if you want to get outside and enjoy it. Of course, temperatures are going to drop back once again, so it is going to be a little bit chilly tonight, but we don't have to worry about frosty conditions across the region. Mainly low to mid 60s. A little bit warmer once you get into northeastern parts of Oklahoma. But again, we're going to slide back tonight. We still kind of have those very light easterly, northeasterly winds across the region. These are actually going to start to switch out of the south, and that's going to help our temperatures out over the next couple days. So we'll slide back through the 50s, 40s, lower 40s for overnight lows. Not frost level, which is great. Thunderstorms in the forecast. We're going to look at that as well here in just a bit.
See you then. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly's plan to axe the food tax has been struck down by Republican lawmakers. The motion would have food sales tax in the state go down to zero. KOAM's Bronte Sorosky shares why some in Kansas were hoping for the sales tax to decrease and why that proposal was struck down.
Right now, Kansas has the second highest food sales tax rate in the country at 6.5%. Kansas officials are trying to cut some of those taxes, known as Axe the Food Tax Plan.
And when we look across at different policies in our community, we see that the sales tax is something that negatively impacts our residents, and it also impacts our local grocery stores.
Thrive Allen County is a nonprofit focused on the health and wellness of the community. CEO Lissa Regier says they work with families in need of financial assistance. The money that would be saved from the loss of the sales tax could be huge.
We know in Southeast Kansas, we are a more depressed area. Our wages are lower. It can mean more nutritious food that can be purchased at our grocery stores. It means possibly being able to better pay rent and utilities.
On Tuesday, the legislation was voted down. Those in opposition say they worry about state spending.
I know there are people who will look at this and say, if you're cutting the sales tax, that means that there is a lack of funding going into the state. But currently the state has a surplus.
The state projects Kansas could collect a surplus for the upcoming fiscal year. Marilyn Logan is the general manager of Marmaton Market in Moran, Kansas, and says the current sales tax in the state impacts not only the store, but customers as well.
Our sales tax is exorbitant on food, and there's no reason for it to be that high. The majority of the people that shop at my store are middle to lower income, so they don't have a lot of disposable dollars to spend on food.
And rising costs don't help.
We had to explore alternatives because the main suppliers that we were used to using did not have the product. And we're still 2.5 years later in that very same situation.
In Allen County, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
State Democratic leaders said they plan to continue to work toward dropping the state's grocery sales tax. Pitt State today celebrated the completion of renovations at the Axe Library. The past 6 years, crews have been working to renovate the entire building. The changes include moving special collections and university archives from the third floor to the basement, adding new bathrooms and new study rooms and flexible meeting spaces.
It's very important for our students to have places that are accommodating, places that meet their needs, whether it's with new technology, electricity, changes like that, a comfortable place, a place where they can come and mix with friends, they can get in small groups and study together. So really, this whole change is about students.
In total, the renovations cost an estimated $6 million, funded by the state and the university. Kids at a local shelter now have new playground equipment. Children's Haven in Joplin provides a temporary home for kids whose families are experiencing a crisis. Today, the nonprofit hosted a ribbon cutting to unveil new and improved playground and outdoor facilities for the kids to enjoy.
So Children's Haven has been around for years. It's been helping kiddos. We've seen a new house. Now we have this awesome playground that takes up the block, that's safe, that's secure.
Playground expansion project took a number of years, was funded by donations from the community. Crowder College in Neosho is taking the week to introduce students to different opportunities and culture through fine art. One of today's events was a Raku firing and throwing demonstration. Raku dates back to the 16th century. It's a form of pottery where the pots are taken from the kiln while they are still red hot and placed in a flammable material to give them a colorful glaze.
We're about to finish up our semester, but it's a week like this that really shows and showcases the talent that we have here at Crowder College, not just in the fine arts, which me and my colleague Josh Knott teach, but it just shows, all the hard work that your students are doing.
Other events happening for Fine Arts Week include a theater workshop for high school students and a showing of plays by William Shakespeare. Maybe you've heard of him. Coming up, Kansas voters are set to decide the future of sheriff's elections. Plus, the parents of a St. Louis teen who died on a Florida amusement park ride file lawsuits. Kansas voters will decide in November whether to ensure county sheriffs are elected by voters. The State House approved a proposed amendment to the Kansas Constitution to declare that almost every sheriff in the state must be elected to a 4-year term. The Senate already passed the measure, so it goes on the ballot. If approved, it would prevent counties or the state from ending the tradition of electing sheriffs. Riley County in northeastern Kansas is the only county without an elected sheriff. Attorneys general from several states, including Missouri, spoke to reporters outside the U.S. Supreme Court today. The nation's highest court heard oral arguments in the case of Biden versus Texas, which looks at the Biden administration's cancellation of the Migration Protection Protocols, or Remain in Mexico policy. Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt says President Biden's policies are worsening the nation's immigration crisis at the southern border and are turning all states into border states.
But today, this is a central question about the rule of law and about border security. And the Biden administration's level of lawlessness and how they've handled these issues is staggering. And that's why we've been victorious before at the lower court, why we're back here today.
The Biden versus Texas case was filed jointly by Texas and Missouri last year. The family of a St. Louis teenager who fell to his death at a Florida amusement park is filing a wrongful death lawsuit. 14-year-old Tyrese Sampson died last month in Orlando after falling from the world's tallest freestanding drop tower. His parents say multiple businesses should have done more to protect their son. Reporter Justina Cornell talked to the family's attorneys about the lawsuit.
In a 65-page lawsuit, Tyree Sampson's parents filed a wrongful death lawsuit against multiple businesses Monday morning. Their 14-year-old fell to his death March 24th. He was ejected from a 430-foot free-fall ride in Orlando.
And it's a product liability lawsuit about the design of this ride, and also a negligence lawsuit as to how they operated it in Orlando, both the park and the operator.
Attorney Michael Haggard says the businesses named in the suit either owned, operated, manufactured, managed, or inspected the ride. Now, the lawsuit accuses them of failing to safely operate the ride, failing to warn Sampson of the proper height and weight safety restrictions, and failing to properly train employees.
In the manual, it says you can't be heavier than 287 pounds.
On the day of his death, Sampson was 6'2" and weighed about 380 pounds.
They never weighed him, no sign or anything like that. And then they put him in a manipulated seat without a secondary restraint system. So it was an accident waiting to happen.
The lawsuit also says while most free-fall rides of this type have a shoulder harness and a seatbelt, this ride has only an over-the-shoulder harness for riders.
The seatbelt, you have this harness. A simple seatbelt costs $22. There are 30 seats on this ride. Had they put a seatbelt on there, they would have paid for it within the first 2 rides on the first night. That would have saved Tyree's life.
Haggard shares beyond compensation, Tyree's mom is aiming to protect other children.
Her goal is very simple, that no parent ever gets this call that she received that's changed her life forever.
Sampson was visiting the Orlando theme park while on spring break. A little bit later, Webb City and Carl Junction face off on the baseball diamond for a rivalry match.
Plus another chilly night tonight, plus some thunderstorms in the forecast. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, we definitely had a cold start, frosty start across the region. Pretty good frost during the morning hours, especially along the north of I-44, and hopefully that is it. We don't have to deal with any more. It looks good. Landers Chevrolet right now. Plenty of sunshine across the region. Roads are dry. We're going to stay that way as we go through the next 24 to 36 hours, and then we'll start to see some changes across the region. All right, allergies have been high on a scale of 1 to 10. Today is an 8. Tomorrow's a 9. These are mainly tree allergies, but up there. So, of course, if you are an allergy sufferer, you're going to be suffering just a bit over the next few days. Once we get some more widespread rain, allergies will drop a little bit, and then they start to creep back up. Temperature is mainly sitting low to mid 60s, so it's actually turned out to be a pretty good evening. Winds are pretty much calm. Have a light easterly wind. These are going to switch out of the south over the next day or two, helping our temperatures warm up even more. 7th range line currently outside sitting at 64, easterly winds 5 to 10, humidity is bone dry at 31%. Through the rest of the evening hours, we slip back through the 60s, 50s. We do get into lower 40s once again later on tonight. It's not that cold, but chilly. At least we don't have to worry about a frost across the region. Clear skies, nothing going on here. We can pan out across the Central Plains. Still also looks pretty good. If we go out toward the west, you can see some clouds, some showers developing out across the northern parts of the Rockies. That is our next storm system, and this will start to affect us by the time we head into late tomorrow night and then also Thursday morning. Until then, we look okay. So a few clouds kind of skirting through lower 40s for us tonight. Nice warm up for us tomorrow. We go into lower 70s during the afternoon, so 44 to start, 65 by noon. High temp at 72. It does get a little breezy. Winds out of the south at 10 to 20. All right, here's Thursday morning. Scattered thunderstorms popping up. Not strong, not severe, but kind of loud. So scattered thunderstorms through the morning hours on Thursday. These push east, and then by Thursday evening, some additional ones start to pop up. And these may be a little bit stronger. These could press that severe limit. Periods of showers, thunderstorms Thursday night. Again, some of those strong, possibly severe into Friday morning. And then once we get into Friday afternoon, we get another setup for thunderstorms to erupt out across central Kansas down through central Oklahoma. However, on Friday, we have a very strong cap. So if you want to know what the cap is, temperatures cool with height, and then you hit this warm layer of air. So thunderstorms, they try to build, they hit the cap, they can't get through it. If you break the cap, those thunderstorms are allowed to develop. So that's what we got to watch by the time we head into Friday. to see if we get some strong storms. But we're going to get a lot of thunderstorms, especially heading into the weekend, starting late tomorrow night into Thursday. But look at the temperatures. Chances for thunderstorms last all through the weekend. The temperature is great into the 70s over the next several days.
And meantime, pulling for that cap.
There you go.
Thanks, Doug. Still at Missouri, Southern softball hits the field for a doubleheader against Northwest Missouri State. And it's rivalry night on the diamond for Webb City and Carl Junction baseball. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
Well, tonight is rivalry night for Webb City and Carl Junction baseball. The Cardinals host the Bulldogs in a COC matchup this evening. Now for Webb City, tonight's game is game one of a 4-game homestand. Cooper Crouch, strikeout there. Game scoreless going to the bottom of the first. Webb City wastes no time at the plate. Kinley Hood drops one into left to score Eric Fitch. Cardinals on the board. Now minutes later, with the bases loaded, Aiden Brock pulls one into left. Cy Darnell scores to make it 2-0. Then they really started hitting it hard. William Hayes, high and deep to left. The umpire in the way, but trust me, it's out there. 2 more score on that. And we're back to the top of the order now. Eric Fitch, almost the same spot, all the way to the fence. Hayes in easily. Cardinals score 7 in the first. They roll by Carl Junction tonight, 17-2. Well, the Frontenac Raiders have been one of the best baseball teams in Southeast Kansas all season long. The Raiders are 11-1 to start the year, with their only loss coming to league rival Girard. Now, Frontenac on the road tonight for a CNC doubleheader against Baxter Springs. Game one, it actually goes to extra innings, but big win here for Baxter. Lions take down the Raiders 2-1 in 8 innings. The Crowder College softball team is 43-7 through 50 games this spring, including an 8-2 conference record. Now, their only 2 conference losses were on the road against Jefferson back in March. Now, tonight, Rough Riders have a chance to get even, hosting Jefferson for a doubleheader. Seneca High School product Chelsea Bevel, 3 straight strikeouts to end the first inning. Now, second inning, Vikings got first and third with no outs, but Bevel gets 2 more strikeouts to get out of the jam. Game still scoreless. Rough Riders down 1 in the 5th. Marissa Mitchell comes through for Crowder, drives it into left. Ava Sarwinski rounds third and scores. We're all tied up at 1. Then next batter, it's Emily Shipman. She yanks one into left here. Courtney Story comes home. Crowder gets its first lead at 2-1. Marissa Mitchell ends up with the game-winning hit in the 7th. Rough Riders take game 1 3-2. So in game 2, Crowder trying to make it a doubleheader sweep. That one actually still going in the top of the 6th with the Rough Riders leading it 2-0. Missouri Southern softball also in action today, continuing their 10-game road trip with a doubleheader at Northwest Missouri State. On game 1, the Lions fall 3-1. Ashlyn Williams gets a solo homer in that one. Game 2, Southern is able to bounce back and win a shutout 5-0. Bailey Lacey throws 6 shutout innings with 6 strikeouts. Southern is right back on the field tomorrow. 2 more games on the road against Missouri Western. That's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Warren Perry served in the U.S. Marine Corps in 1951 and 52. The Joplin native was stationed in Korea and received a Purple Heart. And we salute Warren Perry, a 4-state hero. You can learn about lots of other heroes. We have more than 3,000 of them in our database. You can also submit a hero of your own anytime. And it's very simple to do. You just go to our website and you click on the link. It's KOAMnewsnow.com. Doug Hetty, some mild weather.
Yeah,
anyway.
It looks pretty good. Temps over the next few days, mainly into the 70s, but showers, thunderstorms sneak in late tomorrow night through Thursday morning, and then again Thursday night into Friday morning, then again late Friday and Saturday. You kind of get the trend here. Yeah. Very late April, May-ish.
Those sneaky thunderstorms. Final sports notes.
We told you Baxter Springs baseball picked up a big win over Frontenac in game 1. We'll have the latest from game 2 right here tonight at 10.
Looking forward to that. Hope you join us for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.